Welcome to Empty Nester Life, the podcast. My name is Jackie.
And I am Mark.
And Mark, what's going on? What's new with you these days?
Man, what is going on? That's a hard question. Not that much. I got an electric mountain bike.
I was actually going to say, to kind of prompt you, what are you going to do as soon as we're done recording today?
Well, it's been raining in Flagstaff last couple, 2-3 days, and the trails are going to be really nice, sticky, and not so powdery. So I'm going to go out on I got an e-bike. I got a specialized mountain bike. So it's got power, just because I'm not supposed to output so much effort anymore. But it's really fun. It's kind of like biking. It's mountain biking, and it's kind of like dirt biking all in one. And I've done all that kind of all my life. So I really like this new e-bike thing. It looks just like a mountain bike, except it's got a motor. And you guys have seen the Specialized Evos. That's what I got. I got a Specialized Evo.
Okay, so if I can find it online, I will post a link to it below so you can see it. And if it's on Amazon, it'll be an affiliate link. So
it won't be on Amazon.
I didn't think so.
That's my new thing. What about you? What's new for you? Because I see you every day, but there might be something that I don't know about. There's much you don't know about. No, I'm totally kidding.
What's going on with me? I just planted my garden yesterday.
Oh, yeah, that's true. You were out there in the dirt.
I was out in the dirt, which, Mark kind of gives me a hard time about it because I'm a born and bred city girl.
Yeah,
and so for me to get into the dirt and start planting things, I will tell you though, I have this app on my phone, and again, I'll post a link to that, and it's brilliant for people like me who really don't know much about plants at all, but I do love a good garden. So this plant, I can literally go to the nursery. I just wander around the nursery. I brought Zoe with me yesterday, and I'll use this little app and I'll scan the plant, and it'll tell me, what kind of care the plant needs. Does it needs full sun, part sun? They've got the little tags there, but this app gives you so much more information, and then it tells you if the plant itself looks good or needs attention. So that way I get one that's already, I don't want to start behind the 8 ball or anything, because
yeah, and I want to set expectations here. I'm not sure she's going to send you a picture of what she actually did yesterday. It's not like she went to the back 40 and, she started putting in Johnny Apple seed, kind of stuff.
It's a hobby for me.
She did I'm looking at a couple of planters. They're very nice. They got to kind of grow into it, I see a little bit. And then she puts them down below. But that'd be interesting. It's small, but, you got to go to the nursery. You got to go get all the dirt. You got to go find your little scratcher and your little shovel, and and you got to carry it into the backyard. So it may not look like much, but it's an operation, and I get involved with the labor part.
He's literally making excuses for my garden that's not even 24 hours so far. So,
well, you're saying you're planting a garden. It is. There's a little thing down there, but it's not a lot going on. But I'm defending you too, because it's work too.
And just to be clear, it's only like flowers and bushes. I have a rosemary bush from last year that survived, which is kind of cool. And then I planted some lavender and things like that. But so it's not, we're not talking, we're not making a salad out of anything I planted. Let's just say that much. I did try that one year. And I will end this portion with this funny little story. So we move into this house, and Mark has the backyard decked out. We'll talk about that whole fiasco another time. But he decides to build this little garden spot for me.
Yeah.
And he tells the guys...
And I don't think I even told her about it.
No, it was a surprise. Yeah. So he tells the guys, I want to do this little garden spot for my wife. And he has it built out and all this stuff. And between building it up and all the things, it costs a couple of $1,000s extra to add this little bump out onto it. And so then that first year, I really tried. I tried to grow peas and carrots and tomatoes and lettuce and onions.
That's true.
Tried. And so I think by the end
I don't remember eating any of those things.
Well, no, by the end of the season, I had a couple of green onions and I had 2 carrots and 1 pea. And so And I bought like salad, other stuff from the farmer's
that's so
market.
cute, though.
And then I made this little salad
cute.
with my 2 green onions, a carrot, and a pea. And I told Mark, this is what a $2,200 salad tastes like.
Yeah. But and you didn't touch that planter yet, have you?
Yeah, I did.
This time. Did you put some stuff in there?
I put stuff
Oh,
in
you
there.
put that extra little stuff
I
that was down there?
finished cleaning it up.
I didn't even see that.
I did
okay.
everything yesterday. Like, I left nothing undone.
It had 3-foot weeds in it about a week ago, and I, weed whacked it. And I go, do you see what I did for you down there?
So anyway, that's our story of what's new around these parts.
Big stuff.
So today we're actually digging into, we thought this would be a little creative. We're digging into the name Empty Nester Life, but we're doing it in we're breaking it down, empty nest and life.
Yeah, kind of in sequence, because I think it's important to understand what it sort of conveys. Like I told Jackie, we were talking about it. We try and pre-meet about this stuff, which we did the last couple of days and this morning. And like the empty, it just sounds, and then life, empty life. Ooh, that's a little negative. And nest, okay, house, yeah, not neutral. But empty and life, I mean, it kind of had connotations to me as a little bit negative. But I think perception is, ooh, empty nester life. I think it's like, oh, that sounds good, to some people.
Yeah, I think that's why we wanted to dig into the actual name and talk a little bit about it, because empty nester life can mean different things to different people. I know for us, we'll share a little bit about some of the differences that, where there were pros, there were cons, that kind of thing. And we'll talk about that. But we hear from people quite a bit, and we'll have people go, yeah, we're empty nesters too. High five. Isn't it the best? Woo. And then we have other people who will approach us and go, oh, I know when my kid moved out, it took me months before I could get out of bed or whatever, so different people
have different reactions.
Yeah, different perspectives. So the reason we wanted to do this is we really said, listen, the whole point of us doing the podcast is that we want to bring joy and hope and ideas and dreams to people. We're not sitting here like, oh, woe is us, woe is you. So we wanted to really kind of flesh it out a little bit. And maybe the goal is by the end of this, you'll have a better understanding as to what the empty nester life is. And hopefully you will find it to be a hopeful time in your life as well.
And I'm hoping my brain works better without my hat on. This is the first podcast I've done without my hat. And I usually wear my hat, just, FYI. I'm cold. Or it's sun or overhead lights bother my eyes. So today I felt like, it's 60 some degrees outside. It's still not totally summer here in Flag.
Oh, and I do want to say for our returning viewers, I did something that was suggested to me by a couple of you. And if you see what it is, leave a comment below and let us know. That's it. We're not going to talk about it.
I don't even know what it is.
I want to see if you catch it.
Oh,
okay. So let's go ahead and dive in. First and foremost, what does the empty nester life mean to us? Like before we dig into the empty, the nest, the life.
Yeah.
When we started our empty nester life journey and we named our YouTube channel that, what did it mean?
Well, your eyes used to sparkle when the name came up, because you'd be like, oh, because she knows, that together we're sort of adventurous and we like doing stuff. And I think she really was looking forward to it. Now, don't get it twisted. Loves her girls. I love the girls too. But don't get it twisted. She still was pretty psyched about the whole thing. I mean, you parent some kids for, 18, 20 years, on site. This is on site dairy farming every day, morning, noon, and night. That's what a dairy farmer does. Respect you if you see this. But it's kind of like being dairy farmers. You cannot leave the dairy farm. You cannot leave the nest.
I like that.
That's our first analogy.
That's the first analogy of the podcast or the episode.
I'm not sure where that came from.
I know. You say that actually a lot, though, when you talk about dairy farmers, because Mark grew up near a dairy farm. Yeah. So anyway, I think that's a good thing. Yeah, I think for us, the empty nester life represented adventure and having just a different phase in life. And I think, Mark and I actually both embrace change. We like change. We talked about this on a different episode.
Yeah.
So I think for both of us, it was just kind of a nice thing. And also, because I will say, for those of you watching this who maybe your kids like moved across the country, maybe you're watching this from, somewhere on the East Coast and your kids hightailed it to California.
Yeah.
That was not our story. We had one kid move 7 minutes away and the other kid moved 2 hours away. So they're very easy to get to. We see them. It's not a problem if there's an emergency. So I will say that did ease my entry into the empty nester life for sure. So
yeah, it wasn't a mass exodus to Canada or anything like that. But I will say this, Maddie did entertain moving to Costa Rica.
She did.
And
that was hard.
What?
Yeah.
Okay, we're going to Costa Rica a couple times a year. And it's the only thing I could think of.
I know. I'm like, well, I could think of worse places to have to visit.
Not that we've ever been there.
We haven't.
We haven't been there,
hear
but
it's lovely.
Yeah, and I've had clients that lived in Costa Rica, or at least one client that lived in Costa Rica. It was great, but he moved back.
You know what?
Moved back to America.
One of my best friends, she and her husband moved to Costa Rica for a couple of years, and their son is moving to Costa Rica as we speak. So, Nicole, if you're watching this, I give you all the credit, but
that's right.
the son is actually moving in with the person that somebody they got to be very close friends with while they were in Costa Rica. So I do think that eases it a little bit where you're not just sending them off into
I
the great
unknown. I wouldn't have liked it if she would have moved there.
No, I would not have liked that either. And in large part because I don't know anybody in Costa Rica and that would freak me out. But that's not our story. What's your story? We're definitely curious to hear. Leave us in the comment below and let us know how many miles between you and your furthest child.
Who wins?
Yeah.
Who wins? Somebody go to Australia?
We'll do a little map and a contest. So let's dig into empty. Let's start there. I mean, the literal, obviously, is there's no more kids in the house. So that's, the term empty nester life really is, hey, your kids flew the nest. They're out. In fact, my friend Kristen calls it, she says, I'm not an empty nester, I'm a bird flyer. And I kind of love that, where I trained.
Never heard that before.
Isn't that cool? I love that she says that. And it's like, you train your kids up and instead of having an empty nest, she actually helped them fly. So I love that. But that's the literal, is there's no more kids in the house.
Yeah, and then kind of the emotional gut punch moment, potentially, is when they move out. We didn't really have that gut punch moment. We talked about in a previous podcast how, I felt emotional. I remember I got tears in my eyes.
Oh, we both did.
Yeah.
We have a video up on our Empty Nester Life YouTube channel proving that we both got emotional. I cry, I have a hard time choking back the tears on camera. It's bad.
Yeah, so it can be a gut punch, and if it was for you, it's completely understandable. I wouldn't say it was a gut punch thing, but it was kind of maybe a little bit of melancholy, but also it's kind of a mixed emotion moment where you're like, oh, this is great. They get to. The other thing is that I think the kids, they have dreams.
Right.
And they want to move out because that's part of their dream. And part of their dream starts with moving out. That's kind of like chapter one in their journey in life. Yeah. They got to get out. They got to get out from underneath the wings. And once they get out there, then they can kind of start living their life and making their own decisions. And I remember, again, when I was 18, I was thrown out of the house. So I started my dream.
Whether you liked it or not.
That was a gut punch moment for me. And I wonder if the kids had a gut punch moment. Just flipping it to them, do you feel like the girls had was it a gut punch for them that they moved out? I don't think so.
I don't know. I
don't think so.
I think both of them were excited, to get on their own and do their own thing. I don't know. We'll have to ask them and find out.
I never thought of it that from that side.
Right? Do the kids feel the gut punch of oh no, now? Maybe because they Sophia was she, like you said, she was leaving skid marks on the way out the driveway.
Yeah.
But I think that if I think back on it, I do remember fielding some phone calls, maybe when the reality of adulting, that first rent payment is due, or that first time, you miss the payment on your Wi-Fi bill and they shut the Wi-Fi off and all of a sudden you can't play your video games. No, I'm kidding. I don't know. I'm just saying, like, the realities of adulting hitting, I remember fielding some calls on that.
I mean, I remember being 16 years old and eating some nice pot roast with some potatoes and some carrots, sitting there in Kansas. We were living in Kansas at the time, Salina, Kansas, and thinking to myself, having this moment of like, this is good, man. I'm going to soak this in as much as possible, because when I'm 18, I know I'm moving out, or my dad's going to make me move out. And of course they did. But like, I'm going to milk this because it's all free right now. This little gravy train. I literally had this moment of clarity, like, this little gravy train.
That's pretty insightful for a teenager.
Is coming to an end. And I think if I would have got thrown out at 16, I probably could have figured it out. And I'm sure there's people out there that you left the house at 14, 15, 16, 17 years old. I left at 18. And so, yeah, I remember having that moment of clarity, like, ooh, this is good. This is pretty good. Mm-hmm. But I wanted to be my own man.
And I think that's the key thing, is that if you balance it out with, even if you're feeling sad yourself, you balance it out with, but my kid is excited. My kid is on their journey. They're starting their adult life. And there's a lot of excitement there. And it's not like, I mean, again, you're there for them. It's not, like that. But so let's talk about, what are the pros and the cons of the empty?
Pros and the cons. So we're on to page 2 of our Empty Nester Live podcast.
There is actually some preparation that goes into these, believe it or not.
I saw her flip the page and I thought, I'm behind already, just like when I was in school. You're on question 12. I'm still sitting here at 3 because here's what I've been doing. Daydreaming.
Yeah.
Daydreaming, yeah. Well, peace and quiet, number 1. Yeah, it's definitely a calmer home.
A pro.
Yeah, it's a pro. It's definitely calmer. You can finally, I like what our notes are. You can finally hear yourself think, maybe that's not so good. I think it's good. I think it's good.
No, it is good. I think it's good. Having that peace and quiet, a little bit of tranquility. Obviously that leads to the other one too, is more time for you. That's another pro, is that you have more time for yourself because you have fewer daily responsibilities that are, nagging at you. You don't have to drive a kid here or take them there. Oh man, just all the things.
Yeah, my last couple of years, junior and senior year for Sophie especially, every morning I was anxiety every morning. Absolutely, 100%. That's what it was. Just because she'd get to school and what would happen at school and all that kind of stuff. Great kid, love her. But I just remember it was a struggle. And I guess I started with a little bit of stress every day. Now you got to remember this too. Our Empty Nester life started in 2020. Mm-hmm. Yeah. So 2025 now, obviously. So we're about 5 years in.
Yeah, that's true.
So our memories aren't that great.
We've blocked out all the negative. But actually, when you say that, that's true, because Sophia in her senior year, she had some really nasty girl drama. Yeah. And we had another couple of girls, or at least one girl, who came and vandalized her car. And then another time they vandalized our house. And
who does this?
Right. I mean, it was a real thing. So, I mean, and just.
Yeah, I was worried about that.
Yeah. So it was a thing. And then Sophia has inherited from me her ability to be on time, which means neither one of us really are very good at that. And so
on and time are an oxymoron. I'm working on Jackie though, to like say, okay, so whatever it was, 10 minutes earlier.
But we were early to church when we went on Sunday. We were early the last 2 Sundays. Thank you very much. In fact, let the record show that last Sunday I was ready to walk out the door before you. Mm-hmm. I want credit. Okay. Anyway.
I'd gladly have that be the case because I'm usually on time, if not early. So.
All right. So there's more time for us. Let's
Yes,
get back on track.
Well, rabbit holes are always fun.
More time for us. So with fewer daily responsibilities, we have more time to do what we want to do. In fact, like, could you imagine? So right now we are set up in our living
Great room,
room. And could you imagine trying to do this podcast with like kids coming and going and bringing friends and all that stuff? And we have to hurry up, so yeah, there's more time for what you want to do.
Yeah, we'll probably leave these chairs set up and maybe do a couple more podcasts.
That's what we're doing these days, is that we'll leave it set up for a couple of days and get as many episodes recorded as possible, because this is not that fun to set up and break down, just so you know.
Yeah, because you got to set it up.
Yeah. So, all right, what else is another pro?
Another pro, freedom, I think, if I look at these 5 bullet points that we put together, I think you have freedom to travel or be spontaneous. And I think that that's why her eyes would kind of twinkle about this whole thing, because that whole spontaneous thing and freedom and literally not having to always be here because you got school or you got management of the kids or whatever it might be, or whatever it might be, food, making them dinner, making sure they're eating, that whole thing. So that's
making sure they're not burning the house down or having parties.
Yeah, it's true too. That's true.
Although that might have been more my story as a teenager than it was our girls.
Yeah, that's true. Yeah,
that was us as kids.
That was more us. Yeah.
Yeah, our kids weren't those people, but yeah, I think and it's funny too, because even in our notes it talks about no teen drama to navigate, and so
that was a lot, especially for you.
Yeah,
there's a lot of teen drama, and I don't know what's going on right now. But it seems like there's a lot of bullying going on in schools, and that's what we witnessed. And I'd always look at it like, whose side of this story is correct? But once we start getting vandalized and stuff like that, the nasty was on the other side.
Yeah,
I was like, that's nasty.
That was hard.
That was nasty.
We literally came home. I remember we were down, Sophia was on color guard, and she had a competition down in the valley, and so she had taken the bus down there, and I drove down to watch the competition, and then she came home with me, and we pull into the house. It's maybe midnight, and there's, spray paint.
Nasty word.
Yeah, spray painted nasty words on our driveway, on our garage door, and it really hit hard. It really did.
And they keyed my lower part of my car too.
Yeah, they keyed your car. Well,
a little bit.
Anyway,
you keyed my car, you got a problem.
That's it.
But we never found out exactly who did it. We figure we knew, but we don't really know.
Yeah, we kind of know. But anyway, that's bygones at this point, because people grow up and that kind of thing. But yeah, if you're dealing with a bullying situation with your kids or what have you, we get it. We've been there, and we definitely empathize with you.
It just makes the whole thing tougher parenting, but boy, it makes empty nester life sweeter. Because you don't have to deal with it anymore.
That's true.
Sweeter.
Although, I could get into the story about what's going on right now, but we won't.
Yeah, no.
All right, so number 4, a chance to reconnect as a couple.
Oh, yeah.
That's a positive.
We didn't unconnect. We were talking about this pre-podcast, and I don't think that we use the kids as kind of a crutch to keep our relationship together, and then once the kids are gone, and I know this is very common, it's kind of like, well, Sophie said this, Maddie said this, and then what are we going to do about this? And then the girls, next weekend, and that's pretty much all the conversations.
Right.
And I'm not saying we didn't have those conversations, but I don't feel like all of a sudden, the kids were gone, and then we were like, how you doing?
Yeah.
How's it been for 20 years? Obviously we got married in 13, so we had, quite a few years of parenting together, but it wasn't that. I don't know. You may have a different perspective.
I do have a little bit of a different perspective, only because I was a single mom for 8 years. And so when Mark and I got married, the girls were 11 and 13. And so we didn't have what you would have if you got married and then had your kids together. I mean, it was instant family.
Yeah.
So it wasn't just the two of us, it was the four of us. And that was a blessing. So excited about it, so happy. But I think part of my perspective was I was really looking forward to having that sort of honeymoon period with you, if you will, where it was, the two of us and connecting that way. So I think that's a little bit different, because I know that's a unique story to us, but not necessarily everyone out there.
Yeah, it was kind of shake and bake. It was pretty quick.
Yeah.
We got married, and then we were eating that crunchy chicken right away.
I have no idea what he's talking about, but that's okay. Why don't we go in before? I have no idea where you're going with that. So before you go there,
fast. It was fast. It was.
Oh, I see. Like fast, like fast food. Oh, I see. Oh,
fast.
Like shake and bake is like fast, right?
Yeah, it's
okay.
fast.
Okay. Well. Anyway, how about number 5?
I don't think I've ever used shake and bake.
How about number 5 on the pros list?
Less clutter and chaos. Well, that is certainly true.
That is definitely true. If fewer people in the house means fewer dishes, fewer people leaving stuff all over the place.
Yeah, it's always a problem for me.
Yeah, he's kind of OCD about stuff being all over, so I hear about it. In fact, there's a hat that I've left out, and he's like, okay, this has been here for months. It hasn't. It's been there for a couple weeks. Yeah, so.
And it's okay. I leave my hats out too, but after I see it, and then I have to. So, dishes and stuff like that. I mean, let's just keep the house nice if we can, so that whole thing. So we don't have the clutter. We don't have the chaos. There isn't as much, just dirt, that sort of thing. Not that they're dirty or anything like that, but I mean, just less stuff. And I know this sounds really bad, but it's nice. It's nice not having as much clutter and chaos. It is, but I know that I sound like a total weenie, and that's okay. Because I'm good with dirt. I'll go change oil on whatever. I'm good with it. But in the house, I kind of want it nice.
Yeah.
And you do too.
I do too. I enjoy it. But I will say too, one other thing is that if something's out of place and if I know I didn't do it, I know it was him, and vice versa. Whereas before, remember, something would be left out and everybody would be like, well, it wasn't me. I don't know who did that. So there's less
denial.
Less powers of deduction needed.
Yes.
All right. So we've talked about the pros. What are the cons?
So we touched on this loneliness, kind of the grief of it all.
Yeah.
I don't think that was really real super prevalent, though there were moments, obviously, of that. Loneliness. No, I mean, I'm not lonely. We're together, you and me. So, I would be lonely if I was by myself, but I'm not lonely.
Yeah.
I don't feel lonely.
No.
I mean, we see each other all the time. She works out of the house, and I quasi work out of the house. And so
he plays bass out of the house.
Yeah. And so, and I do some real estate.
He does.
But not I used to.
You.
But yeah, I mean, so.
Yeah, but that could be, it's not just our story, it's other people's story. And so that could be their story. That would be the con of the empty, is having the loneliness or the grief. So, it can feel like a piece of your identity is missing. But I think if you go back to one of our previous episodes, we talk a lot about that. Like, how can you reconnect with who you are and redefine your identity? So, that's another one though, is like loss of purpose or routine. And I think that there's a lot to that, because a lot of us wrap our purpose around our kids as parents. And there's nothing wrong with putting your kids in such a high priority. That's your job as a parent. So when your kid moves out, you kind of feel like you got let go. You got fired. Yeah,
I've been self-employed for more than half my life. So routine doesn't really work for me. In fact, a real sort of loose schedule works for me the best, versus what I worked for AT&T back in the day, and I had to be there at 8:00, and I was the sales manager for Times Mirror Warner Brothers. So I did that whole corporate thing, but it was hard on me. 8 to 5, 8 to 5. Here, what are you doing during the day? That sort of thing. That was hard for me. So routine is okay. The less routine for me, the better. I don't know, how do you feel about it? I know you work good with a real loose structure too.
I do too. I mean,
yeah, we both do.
We both are very much like that. I think it's why real estate works so great for me, because I get to work hard and I get to work for different clients at a time, but it's not like day in and day out, it's not the same. So every day is different. There's different listings. You're going and looking at different houses. There's different problems. There's different celebrations. So I do enjoy that a lot. But anyway, but that could be a negative of the empty, is that you feel the loss of the routine that the kids provide. And there is a little bit something to that where, but I don't know. I mean, yeah, I think there's something to that for sure. Another con, this one rings very true with me, is the guilt or worry about your kids.
That doesn't go away.
No.
I don't have guilt. I don't have anything guilty that I feel about it. But in terms of worrying about them and thinking, I think safety is a big thing for me, if they're safe. And right now, the girls are in safe places. And so I don't really worry about their safety too much, other than Sophie rides a motorcycle. I don't like that at all. Or if we get a big snowstorm here, and I know Maddie, she's got a 4-wheel drive truck. I get it. But man, people go, stuff happens. Accidents happen. Mm-hmm. And she's had accidents in the ice, and we've all spun out, and I've spun out, and I've had accidents in the ice. So you worry about that. Yeah,
I think that's actually very typical of a dad. He's worrying about the safety and that type of thing. As their mom, I think I'm a little more worried about their emotional well-being. I'm worrying more about, are they getting along with people? Are they making friends? Are they doing well at work? Do people appreciate their efforts? I worry about that kind of stuff.
Yeah, I'm more like, I'll send you an envelope of dirt, rub some dirt on it, you'll be okay. Which I think it's wrong. But yeah, and just move on. Well, and that's a little bit of a character flaw that I have. I think I, kind of like, well, got to deal with it. Move on. It's another day, another chapter. Come on, that one's over. And I think that's a little bit of a, come on, Mark, a little bit more.
You're very pragmatic. Mark is very pragmatic. So, but that's why God gave us each other.
I guess.
So you rub off on me a little bit. Hopefully I rub off on you a little bit. Yeah. And that's why God put us together. So that's not a bad thing. All right. So number 4. Awkward adjustments. You may have to relearn how to communicate as a couple without the buffer of parenting. That one kind of, when we were talking this over, we thought, there's something to that where this wasn't our situation necessarily, but we understand that it's a very common situation, that so much of your life is wrapped up with the kids that you really are just communicating with each other so much about the kids and their schedule and their things and what they're going through and all of that when they move out, you don't have that necessarily that buffer of the kids anymore. So you're like, oh, the subject matter changed. Excuse me.
Like the main subject has flown the coop.
That's true. The main subject has moved out on their own. And so so you have to, there are a little bit of adjustments and things like that. So, I mean, it's a con until you figure it out. And then honestly, I feel like it's a pro, because this relationship is the most important thing, because this, our kids, you want them to grow up, you want them to be happy and healthy, you want them to find love, and you want them to thrive in life. And you want them to end up having whatever their life wants to look like. So, but we're each other's best friend and each other's confidant and all of those things.
It's sort of an opportunity.
Yeah.
I was going to say that we are best friends. And so we're okay, just us two. We're okay.
We did actually really good during the whole lockdown period with COVID. At one point, we look at each other, we're like, it's been months and we're okay. Like, we're doing okay. I mean, in all fairness,
be honest, We weren't too locked down.
No, I was going to
But
say
it was kind of like we kind of felt like we respected other people. And so we weren't like trying to, hey, let's get together and play Parcheesi or Twister.
Right.
You know, that sort of thing.
Well, and because in Arizona, real estate was considered essential, and so we were able to still work and do that kind of thing.
Yeah, we got pulled over. We're realtors. It's okay. I'm a limo driver. Come on. That's a great scene.
That is a reference to
Dumb and Dumber.
Dumb and Dumber.
Yeah.
I knew it was Jim Carrey. I couldn't think of what movie.
It's okay.
The last con on the list is that holidays and milestones feel different. And that is true.
Yeah.
Because, when the kids are home, it is different when they wake up, even when they're teenagers and they wake up and they see the presents under the Christmas tree and all of that kind of stuff. I mean, it is. It's different when they're adults.
And it doesn't get cheaper. Honestly, it doesn't get cheaper.
No. Well, I thought
And they will show up for Christmas. They will. They'll be here. In fact, they'll probably bring a significant other. And it's an absolute joy.
We love it. In fact,
That's a joy.
for the last, I would say 4 or 5 years, it has been our tradition that if we do something with the family, the more extended family at large, we do it on Christmas Eve. And then Christmas morning, we have the kids come over and they can bring a significant other. We also have our adopted daughter who brings her significant other as well. So it's like the 6 of them and the 2 of us, and we do a Christmas brunch, and we have mimosas, and we open presents, and it's actually become a really cool tradition. But yeah, I mean, it took a little bit to find that, I think.
Yeah, I mean, last Christmas we gave them all 1973 Pinto runabouts. So they're still driving those.
I was like, actually, last Christmas we gave them all smoothie blenders.
Oh yeah, they did the bullets.
We gave them each a bullet per household, and then
Some
I
other
gave
crap
them
too.
well,
But, yeah.
and then I also gave them some. I gave them some like vitamin powder to make the smoothie. So it was all about health. And then one of the presents I give them is they make like a little soup basket thing where you get like this.
Oh yeah, they love that.
They love that,
They
but
love that. It's all the ingredients.
I don't know if I'm going to do that again because I put an onion in it. And about 2 weeks ago, we're in June now. About 2 weeks ago, Sophia found her wayward onion from 6 months ago, and it was not pretty. So maybe no more perishable.
You can put a little note in there saying you will need to go buy an onion at the store and a picture of an onion. Oh, a yellow onion. Okay, get the yellow.
No more perishable Christmas presents.
That's
but
funny.
I digress.
I actually remember that. That's funny. But they love that little soup idea. That's a great Christmas gift idea, empty nesters.
We actually stole it from our friends Dave and
You
Kay.
should put the recipe in the notes.
Okay, done and done.
People love that because they're like, dinner's a pain.
Yeah, and it actually, we got the idea from good friends
Dave
of
and Kay?
ours. And yeah, Dave and Kay put this little thing together, and I went, oh, and I loved it.
Oh.
And it made it convenient because it was basically a meal that I could make and a real
So
easy
cool.
one. And I loved that. And so
Maddie always lights up when she gets that.
Yeah, she does.
She does. I don't know why, but
Because-
it's a really thoughtful present.
One less thing to think about.
I think it's a thoughtful present.
Yeah, I
Good
think
job.
so too. Oh, well, thank you, Kay.
And I give them 5 quarts of motor oil and a wrench. And that's thoughtful too.
Aren't you jealous of Christmas at the Tates? All right, part 2. Let's go into the nest. What does the nest represent, Mark?
So the nest is the house. One of our points here is you now have an opportunity to restructure the nest. You got it all, with all the feathers and stuff, and you can get rid of some of those feathers, and some of those twigs can get moved around, and that's just an analogy. But we did kind of move some stuff around because we were talking. I asked you, I said, now, did I have an office here? And I didn't really have an office because I was working for a builder here, so my office was was there at work. And so, no, I mean, Jackie says, no, you'd pull your PC out and you just work on the kitchen table, which wasn't a problem or anything like that because my files were all electronic for the most part anyway.
Yeah.
And so, I had my music stuff in her with this big flex room upstairs, which is her office. She has the best room up there.
I do.
Big room, nice, big picture window overlooking the forest. Oh, how I envy. No, it's fine. But when Maddie moved out of that corner bedroom, it's a nice room. I did move in there and I went and bought a desk and some other stuff.
Actually, I think you got my desk and then I bought a desk.
Oh, yeah.
And redecorated my office space.
Yeah, and it's a simple little desk, but I didn't want it to take up much space because of all the gear in there.
Yeah, so you've got your room has your office space and your music room now.
Yeah.
And then my office also doubles as a TV room. So, okay. But the nest represents home, and so what home looks like changes. And so now that we're doing this podcast, again, as I said, this is a bit of a pain to set up. So we're actually looking at taking Sophia's old room and turning that into the podcast studio. So then we no longer have to break things down and, do things. So there's a lot of we have a lot of different ideas. And speaking of my friend Kay, she is an interior designer. And so I'm going to rope her in, and she's offered to help me figure it all out. So that'll be fun.
Oh, okay. All right. So the whole idea is kind of going back and forth. But I digress.
I mean, there's a lot of ideas. Like I said, I feel like I need a third party to help me with that one. So,
however we do it.
Yep.
I'm going to be okay with it.
It does give you the opportunity to make physical changes to your home. So, do you repurpose the kids' room? Do you decide, hey, now this house is way too much house for us and it's time to downsize? You have options.
Yeah, I mean, I know there are people that the first thing they do is they sell their house and they buy a one-bedroom condo.
You're not coming back here is basically what they're saying.
It's true, though. That's what they do. And they go, well, I got a couch. It's about 4 feet long. Not going to be very comfortable. Mom, Dad. It's what it is. I don't know. I mean, it's a strategery.
It is a strategery. And if you are in Northern Arizona and looking to downsize, I can help you as a real estate agent. I got you.
My number is Klondike 456.
I'm sorry, I had to do that. I just thought it was too funny.
There you go.
All right, so the other thing is that the nest becomes a little bit different because the kids will come back. They will come back. And so I think it feels good for them to come home here to what feels like, their childhood home. And so they get to come back. It's a place that feels familiar and it feels, warm and friendly, but then they leave again. So it's not a bad thing. But on the flip side, if you did sell the house and decided to downsize and your kids come back, it still feels like home because guess what? That's where you are.
Yeah, we've had this house since 2016 now, so going into our 11th year. I think we might be in our 11th year.
No.
10th year.
9th.
Oh, 9th year. Wow, my math is off. Anyway, so let's call it 9 year. That's true. So 9th year. And we did talk about this is sort of an anchor for them. And they did most of their growing up here. We lived in Scottsdale for a little while. But they did most of their growing up here. Yeah. And so I think, we were like, number one, there's no reason that we need to run out of here. So even though the house is, pretty big and stuff like that, it's not like we don't utilize it. I think if we didn't utilize it and we, mothballed a couple of rooms, and that would probably be a thing, but we don't mothball a room. There's one room right now, which is the podcast room, which was originally set up sort of like a camera room and was used very, very sparingly as that. And now it sounds like it's going to go back to that. So there's not a room here. The guest room gets used quite a bit. Even if no guests come, if Jackie and I ever get sick, somebody moves down there for a couple of days or a week, whatever it is, so we don't spread that disease to the other person. But yeah, I mean, I don't think that.
But
Yeah, go ahead.
Well, I just wanted to kind of jump in there and say that one of the things you just said, I wanted to key in on before you got too far away from it.
No, good.
You made the point that we don't mothball a couple of rooms.
Yeah.
With 100% certainty, if we were mothballing a couple of rooms, we would sell this house and downsize. We're just not. We wouldn't hang on to it just for sentimental reasons. There's no that we're too.
It's probably true.
You're too pragmatic for that, for sure. And quite frankly, so am I. I don't want to knock around and feel like we're not using the space. But because both of us work from home, because we do have the YouTube channel and we are content creators, so for us to have this house, it actually works out really well because it keeps us from having to go rent a studio somewhere or do things like that. So you figure it out as you go. But I will say, I do think that we're a little bit of the exception there and not so much the rule. I do think that a lot of times once your kids are out, there's no reason to keep that big house. So by all means, downsize, find a more manageable, I mean, the bigger the house, the more you got to clean. And so it's much better.
And we didn't leave their room set up. I see like on movies and stuff where, the parents have the house still set up, the original posters from when they were in high school and the original comforter.
Like a shrine.
Yeah.
It's like a shrine to the kid.
And then they come home, and there it is, and the kids expect it and stuff like that. I don't think the kids ever expected they were going to leave their rooms as is.
No. Well, two reasons for that. So I will say, because I had a conversation about this with one of my best friends, Lisa, who is also a licensed counselor. Both of her daughters, when they moved out to have a college experience. So it made sense that she kept their rooms as is. And for her two kids, that meant something to them to be able to come back and have their room set up the way it is. So if you have college kids, that's probably your story. But in both of our situations, when the girls moved out, even though Madison was in college, but she was moving into a townhouse with other college students. And so both of them had to furnish their new places. And so they took all of the furniture. We weren't like, no, that belongs to us. You go buy your own. We were like, yeah, by all means, take it all.
Please take all of it.
And so for us, those rooms, when the kids moved out, their stuff went with them. So there's a difference when your kid moves out to like college and their stuff stays here.
And the great part was they weren't teenage boys, they were girls, so we didn't have to really fumigate them too bad. Okay, send in the guy with the hazmat suits. Send him in right now. Okay. We didn't have that.
Okay.
All right, what do you got there? On that beautiful outline.
I have a tickle in my throat, which is really inconvenient when recording a podcast, I just want to say. But the last thing I have on this list is letting go of the idea that the home must stay kid ready, which is exactly what we just talked about. But you can kind of take that a step further. When we redecorated the rooms and things, it wasn't like we thought, oh, we have to replace the bed with another bed so that if they come back, they have a place to stay. In all fairness, whenever the kids have come back and needed to stay with us, they're more than welcome and they stay in the guest room. And we've had a couple of experiences where we somebody was staying in the guest room, so they had to blow up an air mattress and stay in what will be the podcast
one of the
room.
rooms, yeah.
So
Sophie's old room.
excuse me, yeah. So I think that is something when you're thinking about your nest, don't be holding on so tightly to the fact that, oh, we have to have space for the kids when they come back. If the kids need to come back for a long-term solution, then you can change. Anything you've done can be undone, can be changed. You can bring a bed in, you can take furniture out. If you need to turn one of their rooms into your craft room, by all means, you can rearrange it if the kids need to come home and move home. But certainly you don't need to keep it that way just for them to come back for maybe 1 week a year.
It's your house. No guilt.
No guilt. That's right. You pay for it. It's your house.
God darn it. I'll do what I want in my own house.
Okay, well, and let's go ahead and move on that note. Let's move on to part 3, which is life. So, We've broken down the empty. We've broken down the nest. Let's break down life.
Okay. Well, I mean, we have on our outline talking about how maybe recreating who you are, new identities, and that sort of thing. And that might be true for you. I don't feel like that was something that we had to do. There were times where, oh yeah, that's, the Maddie or Sophie's mom and dad, and we were identified as that, and that was super cool. I mean, that was actually super cool. But it maybe you've got a kid who's like a D1 athlete, a gal or a guy, little guy, and that was really who you were. Star quarterback, running back. Volleyball star, soccer star, that sort of thing, and I totally get that, but that wasn't really our journey, our story. But I think that it's valid that maybe you do have to at some point maybe rediscover and clarify who you are. I mean, my identity is in Jesus, and Jackie's identity is in Jesus, and so I think if you have that basis, then there's no rediscovery. You know who you are. You know who you identify with, and I think that's been our story.
Okay. Yes, but I'm going to call you out on something.
No.
I feel like you're very.
Oh, I'm not. Okay.
You're forgetting.
Oh, what?
We 100% recreated identities, new identities.
Oh.
We became content creators together.
Oh.
All of this started when the kids moved out.
Oh, yeah.
We're calling it the empty nester
And
life.
identities, though, is that what you'd call it? Identities?
Well, I mean, it's part of who we are. It's not like, we don't walk around like, oh, we're big podcasters and YouTubers.
No, because we're not.
Because we're not. But that would be part of it. But we also don't walk, like you said, our identities we identify we are in Christ. That is the most important thing.
Yeah.
But you have, when you talk about who you are, you have a lot of different facets to that. So we're real estate agents, we're parents, we're, this, that, and the other. So anyway, I just thought it was funny that he's like, we didn't need to we didn't redo anything. And I'm like, yes, we did. We became content creators and started a YouTube channel.
Maybe we filled some of the void with this and having the time. And I think more than anything, I would say with this is the bandwidth to create content. I don't know if you've ever tried to create content. It can be just sort of easy and seamless and stuff like that. And for us, it is when we're out there, woohoo in restaurants and stuff like that. But it does take some conversation. I think that's one way to reconnect. You want to be content creators.
Do it. Yeah. It's fun, and it has given us a common thing
goal
to do.
Purpose, because we want to continue to grow this and do this.
Yeah.
And get better at it.
And I kind of joke around and say that a lot of couples play golf together. We started a YouTube channel. So, honestly, this is what we kind of found
one of the
to
things
do.
We do, yeah.
Yeah. So, I don't know. I think it's kind of fun.
And we can do it for a long, long time, as long as we can move our lips. We'll be able to do it.
Yes, and as long as I can keep a frog out of my throat would be helpful.
Yes, indeed, dear.
I'm so sorry.
Yes.
Anyway, also, what I want to say about life is that in this portion of life, it's about embracing all of the positives, the joy, the hopes, the dreams, and all of that. Because, and here's what I want to say, and this goes to just greater mindset, no matter where you are in life, is that what you focus on, you will get more of. So I was actually mentored by Les Brown, who is a very prolific motivational speaker. And he used to say, what you tune into, you turn into. And his point was, if you're tuning into positive life messages, you will find yourself viewing life through a more positive lens.
I think that's true.
But the point is that it really is important to view things, there are two sides to every coin. And whether you're seeing heads or tails, it's still the same coin. And so you have this new opportunity in your life, if you're living the empty nester life, that you can look at the side of the coin that is full of positivity, dreams, goals, reinvention, living out certain things that you maybe couldn't do when the kids were there, traveling, being spontaneous, all of that. Or you can view the other side of the coin and see it as a hardship, a negativity. I miss my kids. I'm so sad. So the choice is up to you. That's what I want to say.
That's realistic. Definitely realistic. Most people in their life find a way. They see that maybe they're off the track and they readjust. And that's what this life is all about, is readjusting. We talked about in the last podcast, finding your groove again. And I think that's what we've been talking about is, you can look back and reflect on parenting and what that was like to parent and cherish the moments. We talked about some negative things that happened, but overall it was a 99% positive experience. Even in the turmoil, right, it was still a positive experience because it's about love and that whole thing. And, at the end of the day, love yourself, love your neighbor, love God, learn how to glorify God. And we don't do a good job of that. I don't think any of us do a good job of that, but we're a work in progress. And the empty nester life is an opportunity to continue to reinvent yourself, reconnect with your significant other, maybe love them more, love them differently, show that you love them, and maybe do something different with your life. And that's, still doing some real estate, right? We still do real estate. She does a lot of coaching, but maybe do something different with your life because it's not over. Chances are once you become empty nesters, you're in your 50s or 60s. Who knows? Your 50s, 60s. You got a lot. Chances are.
I was 45.
You're going to be around. Yeah, 45. You're going to be around for a while. So yeah, do some stuff. 45. You could do YouTube for another 40 years, easy. Yeah, there'd be a lot of content, a lot of videos. Who knows what YouTube's going to look like in 40 years?
In 40 years,
it won't look the same.
Anyway, I don't know about all that. But we digress. All right, so we're still learning.
Yes,
is the point I think you're kind of making there, and that's a good thing. That's what life is all about. Life is full of change and learning new things, and so anyway, we would love to hear from you. We want to know, what does the empty nester life look like to you? What does it mean to you? Do you think that we hit the nail on the head? Do you think we were completely off base on one of our points? Let us know. Leave us a comment. We'd love to hear from you. Okay, so did you guys figure out what it was that I had said we did based on your suggestion?
Oh, I think I know what it was. Okay, I guess I guessed it right.
It's the fire in the fireplace.
Oh, the fire in the fire. Oh, I thought it was something different.
No, it was the fire in the fireplace. I had so many people tell me, "Oh, I watched your podcast. It was so good. You should turn on the fire in the fireplace. It's like right in the middle of the two of you." And I thought, well, that's actually a really good idea. And
no wonder I'm sweating.
Actually, our little fireplace is more, it gives off a little bit of heat,
it does. It does give off some heat.
Not too much, so.
I think it gives off enough.
Yeah.
Anyway, so I guess we're a wrap then.
We are a wrap, and what do we need to tell people at the end of every episode?
Oh, great tee up. Well, we'd love it if you subscribed.
Yes.
We would love it that you would comment. We'd like it that you would hit the like. And we'd love it that you'd hit the alert. So whenever we release shorts or videos or podcasts or whatever, you'd be alerted. And that you would go on there, you'd watch the entire thing. And if it's a podcast, 5 stars.
Yes.
Help us be 5 stars.
If you're listening to this on any other podcast format other than YouTube, please leave us a 5-star review. And if you'd like to engage with us, don't forget we have a website now. Woohoo. We're so official. It's literally emptynesterlifepodcast.com. So you can visit there. It is a work in progress, but we're working on it. And honestly, it's getting somewhere, and that's all I must say about that.
We're super excited about doing this. We really love doing podcasts. We really do.
Yep.
And you see the real us. Like, you know, she'll see when I say stuff and then she doesn't like it and stuff like that. That's real life. You ever say something to your spouse and all of a sudden they kind of look at you funny? That's real life. And that's the way this whole thing works. Yeah. And it's okay. We are so excited that you actually spent the time. You got to this portion of the podcast. And if you did that, thank you.
Yes, high five to you. Anything else that you had to say?
No.
Did you like that I said high five, or did you not like the high five?
I like the high five.
Oh, okay.
Let's do that. Thanks for watching.
Thanks for joining us. Until next time.
We'll see you next time.